Graduands, guests, colleagues, I declare this ceremony open, so please be seated. As Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I welcome you to this afternoon's graduation ceremony for students from the School of Architecture, Design and the Built Environment. And welcome also to our honorary graduand, Vice-Chancellor of Charles Sturt University in Australia, Professor Andrew Van. We take great care in offering these invitations, and we're delighted when people of such distinction agree to join our community. I know that you'll be an inspiration to our students, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts later in our proceedings. We're live streaming this event, so a warm welcome to family and friends who are joining us from around the world as well. Now, these ceremonies are the highlight of our academic year. They're a time when we celebrate and share in the success of our students, and I offer you my personal congratulations on your academic achievements. And in particular, I want to mention our doctoral student graduating today. Building on undergraduate and master's level study, a doctorate entails another 3 to 4 years of full-time study, or up to 8 years on a part-time basis. A doctorate is the highest hallmark of achievement available for academic study. In choosing to undertake your doctorate with us, you've also made a significant contribution to the research culture of the university. But no one makes this academic journey, be it undergraduate, postgraduate, or doctoral, on their own. So I ask you, therefore, to pause for a brief moment to remember those who've supported you along the way. In particular, your families, your friends, and your tutors. So graduands, please join me in a round of applause to thank all of the people who've supported you on this incredible journey, whether they're with you in this hall today or watching on the live stream. Graduation ceremonies are also an opportunity to celebrate some of the recent successes of the university. And the awards and accolades that we're receiving reflect our continued excellence in learning and teaching, and our commitment to transforming the lives of the 32,000 students who study with us, who, like you, will leave us with the skills, the knowledge, and the confidence to transform the world around them. And as you continue to grow and accept new challenges, so will we, because our commitment to excellence evolves with the changing needs of our students. And I'm proud to say that we've recently been named as the 2019 University of the Year by The Guardian, the latest title in an unprecedented series of successes for the university, and the third successive year in which we've been recognised and rewarded by one of the UK's authorities in higher education. In 2018, we were named Modern University of the Year by the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide, and the year before that, we received the Times Higher Education University of the Year Award. To continue receiving these kinds of accolades is an endorsement of what we're doing, and it sets a high bar for the future. That's a challenge we're excited by, and we're going to meet head on. These awards endorse our vision, our ambition, and our reimagining of what a university education can and should be. They celebrate our gold standard teaching, our worldwide engagement with employers and partners, and our expertise in delivering a personalised learning experience that changes lives. This recognition, and the promise of what is still to come, means that we can say with confidence that today, Nottingham Trent is one of the UK's outstanding universities. The speed and scope of our progress is unmatched in UK higher education. And you should all be proud of the role that you have played in continuing to move this university forwards. Through your successes, your stories, your contributions, together we are making Nottingham Trent the first choice university for students from an unparalleled range of backgrounds. And we have worked with each one of you alongside our brilliant Students' Union, so that every one of you graduating today has been able to do your best. That's our purpose. It's why we're here. And it's what we want for all of you, to do your best, achieve your best, be your best. Now, of course, this journey has not just been one of academic study. We hope that we have supported you in developing the resilience, the knowledge, and the life skills that will sustain you in your next steps, whether you're an undergraduate, postgraduate, or doctoral student. And we hope we've challenged you. We all hope that you feel better prepared to meet the challenges that are yet to come, because those challenges, personal and professional, are inevitable for all of us. But you have succeeded at NTU, and you leave us today with the tools to succeed in whatever you choose to do next. You can be our leaders, our creators, and the people who drive meaningful change in the world. This is your potential, your responsibility, and your challenge. One you should always meet with intelligence, hard work, and compassion. I want you to help yourselves and help the world around you. Now, the success of this university is built on achievements across every area of activity. And of course, this includes the exceptional education provided by each of our schools. The School of Architecture, Design and the Built Environment provides education for over 3,000 students. And the popularity of the school is built on a long history of producing graduates who succeed in professional careers and go on to attain chartered status with professional bodies, such as the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors and the Chartered Institution of Building. The staff in the school are passionate about working with industry to ensure that the courses are as practically relevant as they are academically challenging. A particular focus this year has been developing further strategic partnerships with leading companies. For example, Morgan Sindall Construction has deepened their relationship with construction and surveying students with mock assessment sessions and supporting the careers fair. The company's contributions to curriculum design and development and to the Industry Advisory Board is helping to ensure programs are current and aligned with future technological and economic changes. And the very first cohort of MSc Construction Project Management students who have completed their degrees entirely through distance learning are graduating today. This is a huge achievement for those students and an important landmark for the school. But now it's over to you. You have to prove that these students have the proudest, loudest, whoopiest parents and friends, and I'm going to invite the Dean of the School of Architecture, Design and the Built Environment, Dr. Andrew Knight, to read the names of today's graduands, and the Deputy Vice-Chancellor will admit you to your degrees.
I now invite the stewards to bring forward the first group of graduands. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, the following have qualified for awards from the School of Architecture, Design and the Built Environment. Doctor of Philosophy degree, Francesco Siena, whose research is on implementing smart materials and technologies for medical emergency airway access devices. Master of Science degree in Construction Project Management. The following students have completed their degrees entirely through distance learning. Timothy Clark. Bachelor of Science degree with honours in Construction Management, Daniel Boone. William Booth. The next student also receives the Turner Townsend Prize, Matthew Cullingworth. Joe de Bruin-Forsey. The next student also receives the Wilmot Dixon Prize for the Best Construction Management Project Group Performance, Faith Lukimono. Umar Mahmood. Matthew Nash. Modupe Odulaja. Alexander Salmon. Rahul Sabji. The next student also receives the Wilmot Dixon Prize for the Best Construction Management Group Performance, Edward Simpson. The next student also is the winner of the Chartered Institute of Building Certificate of Excellence Prize for Best Overall Performance on the course, Jack Stanley. Alexander Woodman. Harry Bontoff. Ellis Boyle. Jack Brooks. Elliot Cope. Charles Folkingham. Adam Green. Thomas Holdsworth. Gronier McAndrew. George Alcock. The next student also receives the Wilmot Dixon Prize for the Best Construction Management Group Performance, Irina Amruta. George Brown. The next student also receives the Wilmot Dixon Prize for the Best Construction Management Project Group Performance, Charles Collins. Christopher Gill. Max Jenkinson. The next student also receives the Wilmot Dixon Prize for the Best Construction Management Project Group Performance, Theo Morris. Azima Parker. Joe Ramsey. The next student is also the winner of the Volker Fitzpatrick Prize for Best Overall Performance in the final year, Mwiza Shikoni. Bachelor of Science degree with honours in Quantity Surveying and Commercial Management, Wala El Himna. Shuhab El Lee. Sayfullah Baba. James Carter. Raja Dastajia. Amy Francis. Duncan Jones. Cameron Moore Haynes. Christopher Power. Abu Abakar Sulaiman. Suleiman Altaf. Jonathan Barks. Luke Bowling. Declan Britton. Aaron Broadbent. The next student also receives the Mark Scarth Volker Fitzpatrick Prize for the Best Overall Performance in the final year, Katie Butler. The next student is also the winner of the Chartered Institute of Building Certificate of Excellence Prize for the Best Overall Performance on the course, Jake Kane. Elliot Coley. Oliver Crofts. Luke Duncan. Liam Evans. Thomas Farhay. Connor Godden. Matthew Groom. Deputy Vice-Chancellor. That concludes the presentation of awards to the first group of students from the School of Architecture, Design and the Built Environment. I am pleased to invite Dr. Paul Whitehouse to the stage to give the oration for our honorary graduand, Andrew Van, and to present him to the Deputy Vice-Chancellor to receive his award.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests, it's my pleasure and privilege to invite Professor Andrew Van, Vice-Chancellor of Charles Sturt University, Australia, to come forward to receive an honorary doctorate at this afternoon's graduation. Reading through Andrew's impressive list of qualifications, achievements, and prestigious board memberships, it is perhaps his Bachelor's of Engineering degree that should give our engineering students special pause today and a sense of collective pride, since he, like you, is a built environment graduate. Andrew recalls his time here with great affection. Trent was a bit of a second chance for me, he says, having left his astronomy and astrophysics course at Newcastle University in 1982 to pursue an engineering specialism. After graduating from NTU, Andrew moved into consultancy before completing a PhD at Bristol University while lecturing in structural engineering. In 1996, sensing new opportunities on the other side of the world, Andrew moved to Australia, where he joined the engineering faculty at Central Queensland University, or CQU. Looking back on this life-changing move, Andrew recounts that when we look back now at that job at CQU and then sat on a tropical island with sunshine beating down, sand and parrots at the southern end of the Great Barrier Reef and compared it to our damp, cramped terrace in Fish Ponds, Bristol, it didn't seem like that hard of a decision. Andrew's time at CQU marked a period of great intensity and commitment to teaching excellence. Andrew tells me that he tried to take some of the ethos of his Trent undergraduate course into his teaching and the curriculum work that he did at CQU in the late 1990s. He says, "I like to think there's at least a strand of NTU DNA running through our program." Andrew then spent some time travelling Australia with his family before returning to CQU in 2002. Following a period as acting dean for the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Systems, he became project director for a major upgrade of computer information systems. In 2004, he joined James Cook University as Pro-Vice-Chancellor, and in 2008 was appointed Senior Deputy Vice-Chancellor with responsibilities for faculties and teaching and learning. In 2011, he joined Charles Sturt University as Vice-Chancellor. The university has recently been recognised as one of 4 world leaders in engineering provision by the esteemed MIT, or the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. At Charles Sturt, Andrew has implemented changes to strengthen the university's partnership with the Indigenous people, most notably undertaking community work to support the Wiradjuri community recover their language and heritage. Andrew is proud to be Vice-Chancellor of the largest Aboriginal university in Australia, which prides itself on creating opportunities for its students and boasts more Indigenous students and more Indigenous graduates than any other. He has held a number of board and community leadership roles, is a fellow of the Australian Institute of Company Directors, a fellow of the Australian Institute of Management, associate fellow of the Australian Rural Leadership Foundation, and a fellow of the Institute of Engineers Australia. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present to you Professor Andrew Van, being a person distinguished in eminence and by attainments for the conferment of a degree of Doctor of Engineering honoris causa, in recognition of his significant contribution to civil engineering and education.
Sorry, I'm failing to follow the script there. Look, thank you so much, and I'd like to acknowledge and thank Paul for reading the citation, and to Nottingham Trent University for this very significant honour. I really am genuinely humbled by this honorary doctorate, and I did want to say a special thank you for arranging some Australian weather for the graduation ceremony today as well. If I were in Australia, I would normally start by paying my respects to the traditional owners of the land that we were gathered on which the ceremony or the event was being held. And Aboriginal Australians will typically introduce themselves by explaining where their country is and where their people are from. And although I now call Australia home, I am an immigrant there. And I often think about how I would describe my country and my people. And the answer is that actually most of my ancestors are from the Midlands. So this is pretty much it. So I can think of myself as a bit of a traditional owner here, I think. I also have a very strong family connection to this place. My father studied his engineering diploma over the road in the Arkwright building during the Second World War. And my brother completed his quantity surveying degree in the Chaucer building. And of course, I got my civil and environmental engineering degree when it was in the Newton building. So I feel very strongly bonded to this university. In Australia, a traditional owner would often also offer a greeting in language. So I thought I might do the same by saying, "Hey up me duck," or perhaps, "You're right." Or I might use my adopted language and just say, "G'day." It is indeed wonderful to be here to share this event and this celebration with you all and all of the graduating students today. I'm usually doing the handshaking at these events these days rather than getting an award, so I'm really enjoying actually being on this side of the house. I probably should confess that in 1989, when I completed my degree at Trent, I was a little cynical about graduation ceremonies, but actually I think you're doing a sensational job of the graduation ceremonies here. This is a really lovely ceremony because we did quite a big one in the Theatre Royal back then. And anyway, I absolutely love them now. I think the graduates often look a bit nervous as they come across the stage, and I'm a bit nervous too at the moment, to be honest, but the energy that comes from the family and friends just radiates, and I think graduation ceremonies are a fantastic event. You graduates, you should all be very proud of yourselves. It is a very significant achievement, and I hope you do feel that today, and do celebrate it properly with your loved ones. I know the staff will go away from today with a real buzz and a sense of satisfaction for their part in your achievement. It is a great privilege to work in a university, and I feel grateful every day for the opportunity to be part of that work. As with the senior staff here, I'm sure I don't get to spend as much time with students as I used to, but if you're ever having a bad day as a university manager, if you can go and find a student and talk to them about what they've learned and what they're planning to do, it makes all of that go away and makes you appreciate the privilege you have. I've got the benefit of 30 years between graduating and today to reflect what a degree from Nottingham Trent University has done for me. And Paul said some of this in the citation, but I do want to say a huge thank you to Nottingham Trent University because this institution did rescue me. I dropped out of university first time around. Paul was a bit kinder in the citation, but I dropped out first time around. It took me a little while to get back to study again. It's a bit. I got quite cynical about higher education during some of that period, I think, because for anybody who has dropped out of a course, it's not a great experience, and it's a bit fashionable sometimes to talk about people not needing, university education, and that it's a good thing to drop out of university. And if you're Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, maybe that's true. But I've got to tell you, as someone trying to make their way in engineering without a degree, that wasn't the case, and I knew I needed to get a qualification if I was going to go anywhere. So I applied to a couple of places, and Trent took me in. Some other institutions wouldn't. And I was and I am very grateful for that. And I take it from today that Nottingham Trent is also not too unhappy about the decision that they made. At this point, I also need to say a huge thank you to my lovely wife, Ruth, who's down here. Who supported me through thick and thin, and we got married just after I finished my degree. So last week was actually our 30th wedding anniversary. Love you. I also want to thank my family for their support, and my brother Rod in particular. He actually graduated from quantity surveying here. He showed me what a great city Nottingham was and also led the way into Nottingham Trent. And we stayed with him last night. He does want to know where his honorary doctorate is, by the way. So. What I loved about Trent then was that the education was really solidly grounded in practical understanding, and I think that came through in the speeches today. And also that the staff really obviously and genuinely cared about whether students were learning or not. And we were talking about this morning, but certainly I always had a very strong feeling of respect from the staff at Nottingham Trent. On top of that, it was an innovative and a well-designed curriculum. There was a project that ran as a theme through the whole programme, which I thought did a really neat job of integrating theory and practice across subject areas, as well as giving us an insight into how real projects worked in industry. A fair bit of this was driven, I think, by John Hoppett, who was if I recall correctly, was the course coordinator at that time, and I think he was a man who was several decades ahead of his time in terms of education. I was allowed to indulge my love of computer programming for my final year project by writing a finite element analysis package from scratch, With hindsight, it probably didn't add much to the stock of human knowledge, but it taught me a hell of a lot about problem solving, structural analysis, and the good and the bad of computer methods for analysing structures. All of that set me up for my PhD, where I was trying to write an artificial intelligence program to interpret civil engineering systems behaviour, basically taking signals from sensors on wind or wave sensors on bridges and dams and things like that, and trying to correlate the accelerations and movements exhibited in the structures with the way they behaved. This was my PhD supervisor's idea. It was an over-ambitious project then, and it would be a pretty ambitious project even now, I think, but again, I learned a lot, even if I didn't actually manage to change the course of history, which of course is what everybody secretly wants to achieve through their PhD. Where's our PhD graduate from today? But when I came to be a lecturer myself, I tried to embody the spirit of the way that I'd been taught at Trent. And although I had a wonderful time at the University of Bristol where I did my PhD, I did want to find an environment where I could be more creative and more innovative, and that took us to Central Queensland University and to Australia. Paul mentioned jokingly what a hard decision it was. It wasn't a very hard decision, but we've been extraordinarily lucky to have wonderful opportunities in Australia, and we feel very blessed because of that. I got into university management because I wanted to fix systemic problems in universities and the world, and in 30 years I've discovered, unsurprisingly, that this is harder than you'd think. Universities are strongly culturally driven organisations, and as Peter Drucker said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. At Charles Sturt University, I've tried to strengthen the sense of mission for what's already a very well-motivated set of people, much like the staff here. As Paul mentioned, our predominant traditional owner group is actually the Wiradjuri, and we've adopted a phrase from their language through Uncle Dr. Stan Grant, and the phrase is Yinjamara Wanangana, which is translated as the wisdom of respectfully knowing how to live well in a world worth living in. So in this spirit, we were the first university in Australia to be federally certified as carbon neutral. And we've also worked closely with the Wiradjuri to help them recover their language and culture and to do our best to learn from them. At a time when we as a species are under threat, I think it's fair to say, we in Australia have an opportunity to learn from the oldest living culture on Earth, a culture that lived sustainably for tens of thousands of years. Yes, Aboriginal Australians, very effectively, operated a different technology set from the one that we rely on, but I think we can learn something from them in terms of aptitude, attitude and approach. Now, having sat through a very large number of graduations and speeches, I know you won't remember me or what I've said, and it's safe to say that line along with many other graduation speakers for exactly the same reason. I do remember one graduation speaker who 22 and a half minutes into a 7-minute speech said, "Let me take you back to my childhood." And somebody in the audience said, "Dear God, no." But I won't do that. But I did want to finish with some advice on leadership. So firstly, I want to say that success requires luck. John Paul Getty said of success, rise early, work hard and strike oil. It does require getting up early and hard work, but it does also need some luck. And on that score, while you're waiting for the luck to run your way, I think it helps if you're doing something that you truly care about. Carlos Castaneda is now thought to be an academic fraud and had questionable effects at best on his followers, but I do like one of his pieces on leadership from a book called The Teachings of Don Juan. You must keep in mind that a path is only a path. If you feel you should not follow it, you must not stay with it under any conditions. But your decision to keep on the path or to leave it must be fear of fear or ambition. I warn you, look at every path closely and deliberately. Try it as many times as you think necessary. Then ask yourself, and yourself alone, one question. This question is one that only a very old man asks. Does this path have a heart? All paths are the same. They lead nowhere. They are paths going through the bush or into the bush. In my own life, I could say I have traversed long, long paths, but I am not anywhere. Does this path have a heart? If it does, the path is good. If it doesn't, it is of no use. Both paths lead nowhere, but one has a heart, the other doesn't. One makes for a joyful journey, and as long as you follow it, you are one with it. The other will make you curse your life. One makes you strong, the other weakens you. So in closing, graduates, I would like you to wish you a path with a heart and every success in your future lives and careers. Thank you.
I now invite the stewards to bring forward the second group of graduands. Deputy Vice-Chancellor. The following have also qualified for awards from the School of Architecture, Design and the Built Environment. Bachelor of Science degree with honours in Quantity Surveying and Commercial Management. Katie Hicks. Amy Hughes. The next student is also the winner of the Lango Rourke Prize for Innovation within Construction, Craig Hutchby. Charlie Ilson. Andrew Jays. Warren Johnson. Yesser Khan. The next student is also the winner of the Society of Construction and Quantity Surveyors Prize for the highest student achievement in measurement studies, Stephanie Leonard. Thomas Meller. Jake Owen. Luke Reynolds. Lewis Rowley. James Sands. Thomas Sansom. Oliver Smith. Ryan Sutton. Tom Winter. Callum Withers. Thomas Yeomans. Amraj Badisha. Jared Barnes. Scott Barnsdale. Edward Bone. Joseph Caranci. Alvin Chevere. James Cholterton. Max Clay. Connor Coley. The next student is also the winner of the Turner and Townser Prize, Connor Devereux. Lydia Farmer. Oladoton Garuba. Oliver Green. Luke Gregory. Alex Hardman. Adil Hussain. Nathan Jackson. Hamish Jerram. Uman Khan. The next student is also the winner of the Professor Roy Morledge Prize for the Best Overall Performance in Quantity Surveying Practice and Procedures. Elizabeth Lecon. Faith Lucas. Nathan Nichols. Randeep Ojala. Connor O'Shea. James Paquito. Ryan Porter. Shahib Rihal. Alexander Rooney. Dominic Scott. Daniel Shakeshaft. James Sidwell. The next student is also the winner of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors Prize for the Best Dissertation, Harry Simpson. Nathaniel Smith. Oliver Steele. George Tyler. Daniel Vale. George Wade. Harry Woodward. Miles Wright. Bachelor of Arts degree with honours in Interior Architecture and Design, Cam Trong Huen. Han Wong. Bachelor of Science degree with honours in Architectural Technology, Muntazir Hirji. Hordang Mahmood. Deputy Vice-Chancellor. That concludes the presentation of awards from the School of Architecture, Design and the Built Environment, and concludes the presentation of awards to students at this ceremony. In absentia, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I invite you to confer degrees on those students who have not been presented to you in person, but who have indicated that they wish their awards to be conferred in their absence. I certify that these students are worthy of their degrees, and I stand as proxy. Ollie Green, who earlier received a Bachelor of Science degree with honours in Quantity Surveying and Commercial Management, will now propose the student vote of thanks.
Dear Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow students. As we stand here all dressed up, in suits and dresses, gowns and caps, I'm reminded that none of us actually looked anything like this in the last 3 months. Instead, tracksuits and hoodies were the order of the day as we struggled to submit final dissertations. Before the thesis could be submitted, we have studied contracts, architectural science, health and safety law, and more. And now that it is over, it is interesting to reflect on how far we've come. For many of us, it was the first time living away from home. It was also the first time it was socially acceptable to get up at 4 p.m. But university life has changed all of us. Initial fears around making friends give way to misgivings about deadlines. By the second term, many start to wonder whether a petition outlawing 9 a.m. lectures would actually get debated in Parliament. But it's when deadlines approach that we experience a shared late-night library experience. Like a prisoner, you stand, 2 a.m., blurry-eyed by the printer. You spy a mate. What are you in for? Introduction to measurement. But when it's all said and done, and the last day of term arrives, LDOT for the students, suddenly thoughts of contract terms, procurement strategies evaporate. Finding the right fancy dress for Ocean is the priority. University has its ups and downs. Sometimes you don't get top marks, or the placement that you want. But we have all achieved something amazing by being here today, something I'm sure you agree wouldn't have been possible alone. Together, we have completed this journey through the support of family and friends, and by the support of tutors and lecturers. I know many in this room needed a late dissertation meeting with their tutors, and who would have survived law without Chris's handouts? Let us also not forget the library and IT staff and the course reps who work to make NTU a great place to study. I hope then that you'll join me in a warm round of applause for all those I've just mentioned, and yourselves most of all.
Graduates, doesn't that sound good? Graduates of 2019, let me add my congratulations to those of the Pro-Vice-Chancellor at the start of the ceremony and wish you every success for the future. But I would also like to express my thanks to our honorary graduate, Vice-Chancellor Professor Andrew Van, and his wife Ruth, for being with us today. Thank you for sharing your experience. And can I also thank Ollie Green for that inspiring and revealing student vote of thanks. It really gave you a flavour of the student life, particularly in this school. So my colleagues and I came into university life for moments like these, when we celebrate the success of people who are about to go out and make the world a better place. And at the start of the ceremony, you heard about some of the accolades recently received by the university. And my promise to you is that we will continue to work hard to make sure that you will always be as proud of us as we are of you today. And we hope that as you take your next steps in your careers, you will become our greatest ambassadors. And remember that although you've now graduated, all of you remain a member of our NTU global family. You're now part of a worldwide community of over 200,000 Nottingham Trent University alumni. You can continue to enjoy support from us, including advice on your next steps and your next steps after that, and all your career plans from the employability team. The information is on the NTU alumni website. So do please keep in touch, and in time, consider how you too could help future generations of students, as some alumni will have helped you on your course, perhaps coming back to give lectures, helping with placements, careers advice, funding scholarships, or by contributions to facilities or to research. But all that is for the future. Make today memorable. Enjoy your success. I invite you all to join us now for celebratory refreshments in the Newton Building. And guests, please remain seated for the processional music and as the academic party and the graduates leave the hall. I declare this graduation ceremony closed.